Tonight, from Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee, it's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans taking on Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys.
Being located in the Music City, this building has hosted a lot of great music acts since its inception, but this is what she was made for, NFL football, and that's what we have today in Nashville at Nissan Stadium. Tonight, on this fine Thursday night, we've got a good one in store between the Dallas Cowboys and the Tennessee Titans. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we take a look at this Titan Ball Club entering play. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. Here come the Titans for their first possession on offense, and leading them out in his 4th season with the team, 10th overall in the NFL, Ryan Tannehill.
In his stat line last week, that's not going to get him to the Pro Bowl. All right, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but they won. And so the bottom line for him is team won, managed the game effectively, led them to victory. He's doing all the right things.
Now a play fake, and it's Tannehill. And right side, Henry's got it. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you, and you know what else you're looking for? Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
The numbers on the ground for Henry last week. 18 carries, 72 yards, and a touchdown.
And now that he's playing a Thursday night game, short week, you know he spent a lot of time in the trainer's room. And
the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack. Dante Fowler, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Another try after the first down sack. Tannehill. And as he throws, he lost the football. It's loose. And the Cowboys have recovered. And without a doubt, not the way they pictured that opening drive unfolding.
No, they were making progress. They weren't exactly in high gear, but they were making a few yards along the way. And now that they've coughed it up, they've got to go back to the sidelines and regroup a little bit.
The Cowboys taking the field on offense, and for a 7th season, it's Dak Prescott who brings them out. 1st and goal, a chance for an early statement here on the road. Now Elliott. And he's going to bull his way down to about the 1-yard line. That's a gain of 7, and we'll leave them with 2nd and goal coming up. Again, it's Elliott. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott with career touchdown number 109. That ties him with Barry Sanders on the all-time NFL list. And the Cowboys take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. Now Mike McCarthy going to decide to go for two here. Prescott, they're going to throw for it. And he's going to go down. Can't get rid of it. So a sack on a two-point try.
Well, they tried to get two and ended up getting none because the quarterback had nowhere to go with the ball and ends up getting sacked.
Nowhere to go at all. Great job, though, defensively. They were ready. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Titans coming back onto the field for their second drive. And they come off a victory over the weekend, but now the quick turnaround here for this Thursday night game. How does that affect how teams like this approach these short turnarounds?
Well, wins and losses always factor into, how you're getting ready for the next game. But equally as important when you have the short turnaround, what is your injury situation? Are you losing key guys? And if so, how well have the backups prepared for this? Because you don't have much time to get them ready. They have to be ready before this week.
Look at this time for ones, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Malik Hooker. And the Cowboys are going to take possession of the football.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long, because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
A first down carry by Elliott. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. So, Charles, for this offense, we've been talking all year about how difficult it would be to run the table. And you gave me your chances early in the year. You thought maybe 25%. A few weeks ago, you thought closer to 50, but not quite 50. Now, here they are, 15-0. This is happening, isn't it?
I think it is, Brandon, because I do believe this team is too invested, too well coached to fall asleep at the switch now. And I think it ultimately benefits them to stay engaged all the way through the season, because make it to the finish line, then they get the open week to refresh and re-energize. But if you get off the gas now, that can really hurt you come playoff time.
On 3rd and 1, here's Prescott. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Elliott. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
Up the middle, here's Elliott. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And they are able to add on to their advantage. So 2 drives, 2 touchdowns here in this first quarter, and he's got both of them.
Well, he's certainly setting himself up for a big game here, and I think if the play caller doesn't get in his own way, they should keep riding him the entire way of this game. Until the defense proves they can stop him, that's what I would call.
That is caught. He's got it. And the lead will move to 14-0. So their 2nd touchdown of this first half, they went for 2 after score number 1, didn't get it. Now they get the equalizer, so to speak.
So to speak, and you can understand the thinking. Because they didn't get it after the first score, they wanted to get back to a normal points pattern, get up to 14. But just think, if they missed it here, they're only up 12-0. 1 extra point on the other side can ultimately beat you if they score twice.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Taken at the goal line. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers, because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
He had to fight that time. Ran through one tackle, but ultimately he's only going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Well, this defense for the Cowboys, they were quite formidable in the win over Philly a week ago.
And as in any game, takeaways are always a big key. They're always discussed on defense. There's an emphasis there, and they came away with 3 interceptions in that game.
Meanwhile, Tannehill's throw is on target to Burks. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll try to run for the first with Henry. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. (14-0) the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Jordan Berry out to punt on 4th down. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Taken from just outside the 30. A nice run back there off the good punt. It's a 16-yard return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Dallas offense set for this next drive. And listen, these Thursday night games, they're tough on the body. You just played on Sunday, 72 hours later. Hey, it's game day again. But I have to think a Thursday night game in September much more preferable than a Thursday nighter in December, no?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. You mentioned how tough it is on the body. How about the mind? You're already tired, fatigued, right? Trying to battle for playoff spots. And here you have the quick turnaround. Now, the flip side is, if you take care of business, win that Thursday nighter, you go into a mini open week. Gives you a few extra days to heal up the body and the mind before you play your next game.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
And he's taken down inside the 30. 47 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot. They'll go with Pollard here on 1st down. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Tony Pollard with now 15 rushing touchdowns on the year. And the Cowboys have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Well, fans of old school football, they got to be loving this partner. All 3 drives so far have ended in a touchdown, and all 3 on the ground.
And when you say fans of old school football, count me in, because you just don't see ground games dominate the scoring by pounding the rock like this anymore. To me, this is refreshing.
They'll try and throw for it. And he's got it. So the try for 2 successful. And that bumps their lead up even further. So the 2-point conversion trend continues, at least as far as trying those goes. They've attempted them after all 3 touchdowns, CD, and converted now 2 of them.
They're not just dipping their toe in the water, are they? I mean, they're committed to going for 2 points, and 2 out of 3, now with a 22-0 lead. In a sense, they're a little bit ahead of the curve, because normally it would be 21, wouldn't it?
And with the way their defense is playing, I don't know if it matters if they do convert any of these. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. Tennessee offense making their way out onto the field as you take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Hey, you're impressed, don't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games? Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadrupled. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs. What do you think, Brandon? I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. And he's brought down, but not before a really nice stiff arm to create a little space. So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they've bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
And now he lost the football. Tannehill loses it. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And this is going to be brought back for a fumble return touchdown by the Cowboys. Charles, they are putting on a show right now. I mean, with that fumble return for the touchdown, you think about the size of this advantage. Heck, it's a 4-score game right now, and we're still in the first half.
And that has to be the highlight, Brandon, with how infrequently we see fumbles return to the house. But if you aren't inclined to pick this as the game signature play so far, you do have no shortage of alternatives to select from. This has been nothing short of a clinic. And as noted, we still have a half a ball to play.
And this is going to be caught. Well, not sure about the need to go for 2, but they get it and extend this lead out even further. And, boy, things switched on a dime here. The fumble recovery for the touchdown and also a 2-point try on top successful.
That feels like a momentum call. Pick it up on a fumble return, take it the other way for a touchdown. That's demoralizing for a team to have it happen against them. So the offense just says, you know something? Let's add to it. Pile on top, go for 2 now while their heads are down.
And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Here's Tennessee ready to begin this drive offensively. And they have done themselves absolutely no favors to earn a win today in this one, Charles. The turnover woes continue. On that last drive, they had that fumble that led to a touchdown.
And, Brandon, I would say they have a mission on this drive, and the bottom line is protect the football and just put together something that they can let the last drive go. Yeah, it was a bad play. They gave up points, but that doesn't mean it has to go that way the rest of this ball game. Do what you do best on offense and try and put the ball in the end zone yourself.
And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Tannehill going to turn and give this to Henry. And he'll get about 3 up close to the 35. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there. I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
Now Jordan Berry on to kick this one away. A minute 55 left to go in the first half of play. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. The offense running out, and they are charged up, ready to go after reaching the end zone on their last drive.
And normally I'd warn against getting complacent just because they scored the last time out. But I don't think there's any worries with this group right now. This is a hungry group, and they want to keep building off of their last drive. Now they just want the officials to hurry up and place the ball so they can snap it and get back to work.
They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. On third down, Elliott. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. The Titans going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now Prescott on fourth down. And he's able to hook up with Michael Gallup. Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. Hey, nothing to see here, just your standard fourth down gain of 28 yards. And the drive keeps going. Both sides were holding their breath there on that fourth down play, and the offense can breathe a sigh of relief.
And both knew exactly where the first down markers were. You know the defense is trying to guard those.
And I believe they buzzed down. They're going to take another look at this play with all reviews coming from the replay official here in the final 2 minutes of the half. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Inside give to Elliott. And he works his way free all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone. 66 yards for him on the ground so far tonight as he has been terrific in this first half. For a lot of people, the MVP award means a quarterback award usually, but over 100 yards again last week. They're going to have to look his way more than once when giving out this award this season, I think.
Yeah, it's not just the consistency. It's been some plays that we've seen where we talk about it for weeks thereafter. That's what we're getting out of him. Over 100 yards last week. Expects to continue that in this game, too. Brandon, guys do whatever it takes to have fresh legs late in the season nowadays, don't they? How about him last week? Week 16, NFC Player of the Week for his performance.
Probably means a little bit more to him later in the year, doesn't it, because of what you just said. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott as the first half is winding down. And the Cowboys are able to add on to their first half lead. Some good running there at the end of the drive. He had the burst that set up the 1st and goal, and then one play later, he's in the end zone.
Brandon, what I liked about that sequence is I'm not sure who made the play call, but they understood the situation, understood the momentum. A nice hard-charging run, give it right back to him, and let him cap things off.
So Dak will bring the Cowboys up to go for the 2-point try. They'll look to throw. And he's got it. They add on more. A little salt in the wound. 2-point conversion makes this lead even bigger. So they go with a pass, and it works there on the 2-point try. Charles, just in general, what are your thoughts passing versus running on 2-point conversion? Situational?
It is situational, and you have to know your team. What is your strength? Because so many people think you have to throw the ball in a 2-point conversion, but the stats will tell you that running it is about as proficient. So know your team and go to your strength.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Titans offense going to get one final possession in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Pretty nice work defensively there on the first down run as they hold him to a gain of a couple. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in just a moment. But first, let's give everybody a look at what's coming up this weekend in the NFL. One of the best of the early games, we'll highlight it there. The Giants in for a stern test at home at MetLife Stadium as they'll take on the visiting Indianapolis Colts. Later in the afternoon, a lot of the country will be watching the game at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, where it'll be the Packers taking on the Minnesota Vikings. And then finally, a good one on Sunday Night Football between the LA Rams and the LA Chargers. In the game you're watching, you've seen a strong first half out of Dak Prescott. His guys are on the road to blow out City. They lead it big. As we send you back out to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. Out come the Cowboys now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. Well, this offense, this team, they are rolling right now, Charles. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. You look at the scoreboard, and they pretty much right now got this thing on cruise control.
Yeah, and this is that time of game where you and I have to be prepared, right? Isn't this kind of like that empty the bucket time where you have to go into your blowout material and make sure we have some different things? That's what we're staring at right now, the way this one is going.
103 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Prescott on first down. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 15 more yards there, and quickly another first down.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
Elliott on first down, going to get about 3 before he's taken down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator. Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Trying to run for it with Pollard. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6 that time as it moves the chains as well.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
He's not going to get me. 41 Mike. 41 Mike. Come to my work. We want it. Come to my work.
Another carry tonight for the workhorse Elliott. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call them run fits, everyone was in the right place.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott taking it in from the 20. And the Cowboys take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
Looking to throw, Prescott, and this is going to be caught. Well, not sure about the need to go for 2, but they get it and extend this lead out even further.
I think this is just going to be a function of the times we live in now. Very similar to the bat flip in baseball. Everyone's got to start to get comfortable with this, but to me, this is just rubbing it in. You got a big lead. Go ahead and take the extra point. One thing to keep in mind, though, karma's still out there, and sometimes it has a way of catching up with you.
The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away. Taking it about the 1. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Titans offense gears up for their first possession of the second half. Tannehill and the Titans come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll try and get the run game going. This is Henry. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Play action. It's Tannehill. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I'm getting the sense that this offense is getting frustrated. Here we are into the 3rd quarter, and they've had plenty of opportunities to get in sync. Thus far, that hasn't happened. They're looking for answers both on the sidelines and in the huddle looking at each other.
Caught. It's Wilson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. An 11-yard pickup for the Titans and a first down.
Well, maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I'm wondering if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long, but a nice throw there for a good gain and a first down.
Mike, 55. Check, 55, Mike.
On 1st and 10, Tannehill. Flip, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Micah Parsons buries him for a loss of 11 from his outside linebacker spot.
Oh, you can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
10th carry now for Derrick Henry. And a good stiff arm there before he's brought down on a nice little gain. A nice job of just sticking the helmet down 9 yards on the play, but still 3rd and 12 now. Tannehill. This will go to Henry out wide. And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a 4th down. Here's Jordan Berry now as he's on to punt for Tennessee. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. Well, they got to be thrilled with how they've operated so far in this one. They've got the nice lead, and now a chance to score here on 3 straight possessions.
Yeah, and the way that they are rolling, I just don't know how they get slowed down because they certainly are operating at peak efficiency right now. They might want to think about giving some of their backups a little bit of work, though. Let some other guys get on the field and do their thing and save some of this for the next time out.
On 1st and 10, Prescott. Oh, eluding the tackle. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Meanwhile, Dak's throw pulled in by Lamb. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Prescott and Lamb hooking up for the Cowboy first. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
The give is to Elliott. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 173 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score. But even with a huge lead, he was looking for more points. Wanted the deep shot downfield. That one goes incomplete. Obviously, he wants to put more points on the board.
A second down throw for Prescott. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Cowboys are closing in on that 16-0 record as they add on to their lead. Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CeeDee, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all three phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the fourth.
Personally, I'd rather see him kick the extra point there than to go for 2, but it almost feels like there's a story within the story here. I mean, this isn't college. You know, size of victory, that matters in those games. Here, all you have to do is win by 1 point. That's all that you need. Instead, they go for it, get 2. You got some pretty ticked off folks on the other sideline now.
And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. Tennessee offense set to go again. Facing a big fourth quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled. Tannehill and the Titans come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence, his 2nd sack of the night.
Well, it's obvious, but I can't help but say it here. It's never a good day when the opposing defense has more sacks than you have points. The win seems likely, but this defense is still playing for something here. They see that 0 on the scoreboard, and they don't want that to change.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Tannehill over the middle into the hands of Burks.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete, certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. Here's Jordan Berry now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. Fielded at the 33. They'll net only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And they will take over 1st and 10. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard. But they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives. And I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
Prescott looks to throw on first. He'll fire deep downfield for Lamb. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
So Dak will bring the Cowboys up to go for the two-point try. Here's Prescott. And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the fourth.
Well, I guess when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, I would just go ahead and take the extra point and move on, but apparently they've got something to prove. Almost feels like something was said this week, and they wanted to make sure that they laid it on them in this game.
The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field.
Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one.
And finding the tight end Hooper. Only able to gain a couple there, and it'll be second down.
Yeah, that one was covered pretty well because they were trying to leak the tight end out into the flat. I think they were hoping he could catch and turn upfield and pick up the first down.
14's the mic. 14's the mic.
To throw again on second down. Tannehill. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Dante Fowler able to drop him that time for his second sack of the evening.
Guys with his talent in the pocket aren't supposed to be getting hit like this, and you know an intense conversation with the offensive line is going to occur after this one. Might not be from him, but the offensive line coach will have plenty to say about this game.
So 3rd and long after the sack. Tough task for Tannehill and the Titans.
Now back to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down. Here's Jordan Berry now as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And taken right at the 35. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Cowboys are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10. Throwing here, Prescott.
He'll fire deep downfield for Lamb. And this a leaping effort, but it's knocked away and incomplete.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Prescott. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
Another touchdown here in the 4th quarter, and Charles, I think we can start to consider that this undefeated streak of theirs is going to be safe for another week.
And partner, you don't make it this far into a season without a loss unless you're getting contributions from both sides of the ball and sometimes even your special teams, and that's been true today. Each side helping guide them to this late lead.
So here now is Prescott as his guys will go for the 2-point conversion. They'll drop to throw. And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the 4th. And, of course, on the 2-point try, had the option to run or pass. They pass it there, and it works.
Felt pretty straightforward, didn't it? An open receiver, ball's put on him, 2 points for them.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his second catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him. And what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their third corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up.
Under pressure, and he's going to go down. Tannehill sacked. Dante Fowler bringing the pressure yet again. That's his third sack here tonight.
Well, partner, you and I will be headed to the airport, but after this game, when it's interview time, someone's going to ask this quarterback what hurt worse, the interceptions or the sacks. His whole day, it's been rough. Barring a miraculous comeback, this offense isn't going to win this game, but he's probably going to say what hurt most is the loss.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. It's caught by Hooper. And he will have a Titans first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Now a timeout called for by the defense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Now Tannehill.
Now this one hauled in. Again, it's Hooper. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
To throw again on 2nd down, Tannehill. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. One last throw here for Tannehill.
Well, into a sea of defenders and intercepted.
Picked off by Jordan Lewis.
And the Cowboys come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. For the winning team here, Charles, that's about as big and clean of a win as you could hope for in the National Football League. No turnovers. Meanwhile, you forced turnovers. You didn't allow any points, and you put up a bunch of points. What an effort.
And, Brandon, I just have to ask you, that's all the stuff that we saw happen today. Those are statistics, numbers, the whole deal. But my question is, how does one team come ready to play, and the other one, obviously, not ready at all?
Well, I mean, I obviously don't have an answer to that, but that was the story from the get-go. One side was awake and ready, and the other just seemed to sleep.
So for Dallas,
they have indeed reached a perfect 16-0.